All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for real people, just like you right there and just like me. David Crosby is in a bit of hot water for comments or one word that he used to describe Eddie Van Halen. David Crosby's classy response to Eddie Van Halen's death, meh. And that's, wow. Look, it's not as bad as what David said about Neil Young's wife. So I guess you can look at it that way. But kick him when you're up, kick him when you're down, kick him when you're stiff, kick him all around. To quote Don Henley. CSN legend David Crosby's reaction to the death of Eddie Van Halen prompts backlash from fans, as it should. Look, I know where he's going to go with this. I haven't read the article. David Crosby is from the Jimi Hendrix era, literally. And I'm sure he's going to compare and contrast and so forth, but we will see where this goes. When Eddie Van Halen died last week at the age of 65, the tributes began pouring in, from Jimmy Page and Richie Blackmore to Eddie's former bandmates, David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar, Michael Anthony. Everyone was united in their admiration for the man who revolutionized the electric guitar. Everyone except David Crosby, that is. Now you gotta wonder too, is Cros just wanting to get some attention? He's getting kind of old. He isn't getting along with his former bandmates, obviously, although I think he and Graham Nash are on better terms, but, that video where Graham Nash just lays him out for the stuff he said about Neil Young's wife is pretty brutal. There's no getting around that. Anyway, when the former Crosby, Stills, and Nash met, and that's another thing, technically he's not in the band anymore because he caused a rift and the band has decided not to do anything. Anyway, when the former CSN man was asked by a fan on Twitter what he thought about the guitarist, he dismissed the question with a one-word reply, meh. The backlash was swift, with several fans and musicians calling Crosby out for his apparent lack of respect. LA Guns guitarist Tracy Guns responded, wrong answer as bleep. Testament guitarist, I appreciate David Crosby too much for this to get in the way, but a much better answer would have been, I know he meant a lot to so many, but his sound and style just weren't my thing. Seemingly aware that he prodded a hornet's nest, Crosby attempted to clarify, aha! Hendrix! Told ya! Hendrix changed the world of guitar, he wrote. Nobody else really. Look, I get it. Many of you love Van Halen, and the one time I met, he was nice and he was talented. Meh to me means I don't care that much, and I don't. Doesn't mean he wasn't good. He was, but not for me. Ugh. Again, the guy doesn't have a lot of tact, and what do you do? Do you excuse it? No, I think you call it. I think people being irate. Look, here's the other part of this. This is still a very fresh wound for a lot of great guitarists out there, and just fans in general. I was devastated. I tried to do a video that day, and I was like choking up. It's not cool. This just wasn't a really cool thing for Cros to do, but it is in line with typical David Crosby stuff, and certainly he's getting the attention that he wants from it. As far as the Hendrix Van Halen debate, that is a tough call, and that's one of the reasons I try to be diplomatic when I do these videos. And I say, he's number one for a lot of people, meaning Eddie Van Halen. For a lot of other people, it's Jimi Hendrix. I think if you look at commercial viability, Eddie certainly has an edge over Hendrix. No question about it. If you look at early innovator and pioneer and maybe a real heavy-duty nod to blues guitar, you probably got to look at Hendrix. But I mean, it's oranges and apples, but they're both kind of on the same shelf. Okay, that's the best way to put it. You know, you got your apple over here, way up high, super high on this shelf, and you got your orange over here, both of them on this super high shelf. Right? And you can appreciate both the orange and the apple on the high shelf. They're way up above many other shelves. A lot of these guitarists who pay tribute to Eddie, they wish they could play like Eddie. That's the reason they're paying tribute, and they're humble about it, most of them. None of them are out there saying, oh, I play almost as good as Eddie. I don't know what the big deal is. No, you don't play as good as Eddie, and I'm glad you're not saying that, and it would be dumb to say it. So Crosby, to me, I mean, I don't know. It was an inappropriate, yeah, but it's total David Crosby, and it doesn't at all surprise me. And I knew he was going to go toward the Hendrix thing, because that was him. That was his generation. Jimmy was the best, and shut up, you know. And, you know, it's hard because a lot of these guys, they can't come to grips with the fact that a lot of people don't remember the 60s. And there were a lot of great musicians that came out of the 60s. And I feel for that. I understand that. I go back and listen to music every day, and a lot of it is from the late 60s, early 70s, a time where there was so much greatness going on. So much of that greatness now is no longer on the radio. People don't know who some of these artists are. Jimi Hendrix, obviously... if he had a larger body of work, if he had lived longer, this may be a moot point. Who knows? But Eddie had a fairly long career and he had a ton of commercial success. Hendrix did too. But if you turn on the radio today, you're going to hear Van Halen all over the place, all day long. And it's important because that's a band concept, but they wrote songs that were much more singable and accessible. Hendrix, a different, more self-indulgent as a guitarist, not really trying all that much to be commercial. Hence, the only way you're going to hear Hendrix is like on a classic rock station. They're going to play like Foxy Lady again and again, and they're not going to play any of the other amazing tracks that the guy has, because the imagination for radio has completely dried up. Like, the creative imagination of a radio programmer no longer exists. It's basically being run all day long by AI, and somebody in some corporate ivory tower, puts in the program and sends it off to all of his minions, all of the radio stations that represent that company, and they all do the same thing. They don't even take into account that in this city, this particular music was really popular 30 years ago. They don't even look at those stats anymore. They used to, because Southern rock bands play well in the South, obviously, and in certain markets. Grunge does well in the Northwest, obviously, which, I'm glad I don't live in Seattle for a number of different reasons. But, I don't know. I'm getting way off track here. But the bottom line through all of this is that Hendrix is a great guitarist, and Eddie Van Halen is a great guitarist, and they both are on the same super high shelf, but one is an orange and one is an apple. And Dave here should have done a better job in acknowledging that. He sort of did. He sort of backtracked and did, but he should have also said the guy was brilliant. He was just brilliant. Don't say necessarily, it's not my cup of tea. I mean, I get it. Your cup of tea is from 1969, and Eddie was probably learning piano, drums, guitar, and every other instrument out there. It's another thing that people don't realize about Eddie Van Halen, is he could just pick up an instrument and start playing it, without being taught. So, I don't know. I think Dave, you should have handled that a little better. That would be my synopsis here. Kind of a long video to talk about just how you handle Twitter and how you make an appropriate comment. Not helping your image, buddy. But then again, one thing about David Crosby, he's not concerned about image. He really isn't. All right, I am done. Yes, I'm wrapping up this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can hit the bell if you want a notification when the videos are uploaded. You can find out early on and watch those videos for me. Watch the commercials if you can. It's helpful. And if you want to subscribe to Patreon, you can do it for just $1 a month. And it might be worth the buck. You support the channel, and we can have conversations, civil conversations, about David Crosby or any other topic that you'd like to bring up. All right, I am done. See you soon. Thanks for watching.